on, you guys? H-Rack Brown here. So I just finished watching Dynamite, and with everything that went down tonight and how the show was, I felt that we'll just have a little conversation and talk a little bit of Monday Night Raw and some Smackdown and NXT, basically continuing the conversation that Le Mass Man was having with you guys. All right, so here you go. Now, Dynamite tonight was actually a pretty good fucking show, and it had some really good fucking matches. The main event delivered. The tag team match delivered. The women's match was it was that didn't deliver. That didn't deliver at all. I was expecting to see Daniel Bryan, especially with the death of Gene LaBelle. May he rest in peace. So I was expecting to hear something from Daniel Bryan, but we didn't. And that's fine. It wasn't like mandatory. I was just curious to see if they would do it, but they didn't. So the show opens with the coffin match, casket match, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and it's Brody King and it's Darby Allin. And going in, I said, okay, Brody King won the first match, so you know. It's definite that Darby Allin is winning this one. Now, my whole thing was, now I'm a Darby Allin fan. I'm a Brody King fan, and I said, okay, so how do you book this? How do you have Brody Lee lose to this Brody Lee? Excuse me. How do you have Brody King lose to this guy who's 160 pounds soaking wet or whatever? Bottom line is, Darby Allin isn't the biggest guy, so you have to be very creative with the way you end this match. And they did something that was pretty creative. We got an appearance by Sting, and how we got that appearance was Sting was laying in that damn coffin the whole fucking time, unless there was some camera trickery going on that I didn't notice. But Sting was pretty much in that casket during the whole time up until that point. Sting comes out of the casket. And Buddy Murphy Matthews, I forgot the name he's going by now, but Buddy, he's staring at Sting for quite a while, and it was like, okay, are you gonna kick this nigga while he's in the coffin or something? I felt that they should have did something more creative with that, and what they should have did was the way now, this isn't Sting's forte, but it's okay to do this because it would have just made sense as far as, the guy just standing there and just staring at him. It would have been a better deal than that. And what I was thinking of, they should have had Sting spit some white mist, since Malachi Black spits black mist, and you saw the effect of it when Sting had his eye painted black or whatever, and he takes Buddy out with the bat and whatnot, and Brody King was just a bloody fucking mess in this match. And if you know me and you know how I like to watch my matches, I want blood in every fucking match. That's the way I see it. I've always been a large advocate for that, because in my opinion, when you fight, you fucking bleed, okay? I always thought, as a wrestling fan, and no matter how old I am or how old I'm getting, most matches should have blood. If not a lot, a little. But it shouldn't be, that's just me. There should be blood in every match. Okay, at least 80% of matches should have blood. Again, my opinion. But anyway, this dude was bleeding like a stuck pig. I, of course, was enjoying that shit. I'm like a vampire when it comes to fucking watching wrestling. And that was a good way to come up with as far as psychology is concerned and storylines, to go with the win that Darby Allin had, because Darby Allin did end up winning this match. And what also confused me about the match was when Black, had to stare down with Sting and, he left. The cameraman didn't really go back to that. Went back to it once and there was a face-to-face. And then that was it. And I was like, well, what's going on with these two? Why are you not showing us what's going on? Not to take away from the match, but it was just weird. Like, did they just stare each other down and walk away? Because while that was going on, and you had the camera focusing on the match, which you should have, the match ended by Allin pretty much hanging Darby by his chain, and not Darby, Brody by his chain. You have Allin holding Brody by his chain, goes down, falls into the casket, perfect. I was very happy with that. I was happy with the way the match ended, and I was very happy with the creative way they did it. And you do so with Brody King losing this way. It doesn't make him look like a bitch, or you can't look at it and say, "Oh my God, I can't believe he lost to this small dude." They handled that very well. And then you have a promo between Jericho and Moxley, and Moxley cuts his usual promo, which is good, But I'm not playing it because I'm saying it was whack or nothing special. But his promos are always good. I have no problem with it. But what I wanted to focus on was Jericho's promo. Now, Jericho, the whole premise of his match tonight with Moxley was that he was Lionheart Chris Jericho. So if you really looked at this promo that Chris Jericho was cutting, he kind of cut this promo as if he was the young Chris Jericho, as if he was the young Lionheart. Like I noticed that within maybe about 5, 6, 7 seconds in. I'm like, wait a minute. He's cutting this promo like he's the young Chris Jericho. It almost had a ECW or WCW feel to it, And for a second, I thought Lance Storm was going to come out during that promo segment, but he didn't. But I thought that was happening. So I thought that was very interesting. And you also had the tag match between the Lucha Bros and Los Ingobernables. If Faction happened, and I was looking forward to that match, and that match was pretty much everything that I thought it would be. It was very, very, very exciting. You had Los Ingobernables, La Faction going over, which is a good thing because people have been speculating whether or not Andrade is happy, and they actually looked at a kayfabe tweet by Rusev and actually took that shit seriously, thinking that he's unhappy. And speaking of Rusev, they had a awesome promo with him and I forgot Shorty's name, but she's with the House of Black. So you have Rusev feuding with the House of Black as well as Sting and Darby Allin. This feud is not even over yet. So it's a little bit confusing to know if they're flipping Rusev, or if it's just heel versus heel, or if Rusev is going to be aligned with Sting and Darby Allin. But in this promo, Rusev, told the chick who's down with Malachi now, who used to be down with the Brian Pillman Jr., he's like, yo, get away from me. There's only one woman for me, and it ain't you. And I thought they were going to cut to PJ, a.k.a. Lana, but they didn't. Will she come in? I have no idea. But moving along, you had a match with Jade and Madison Rain. I didn't really much care for it. The only thing I took away from this was Athena coming in because she's going to be challenging Jade for the TBS World Championship. At least I think that's the plan for All Out. But moving forward, the most important thing, because you also had Ricky Starks in the match. I don't want to ignore that. I just, like I just said, I just want to go over the things that I thought was really exciting. But you had Ricky Starks in the match in which he won in seconds, and he goes over on QT Marshall's people and whatnot. And you have the main event, which was Chris Jericho versus Jon Moxley, Lionheart Chris Jericho, and in the crowd let me down greatly by chanting Y2J at one point. I'm like, this is not Y2J. This is Lionheart Chris Jericho. What the fuck are you people chanting? So Michael Davis, Scott Wolford, I hope you guys were not chanting Y2J there. All right, so shout outs to you guys. Michael Davis from the PW Hustle Zone was at tonight's show, as well as a hustleite by the name of Scott Wolford. He was there. So, peace to you guys. Shout outs to y'all. I'm glad you enjoyed the show. But Chris Jericho comes out as Lionheart, and he's wrestling like the young Chris Jericho. In his promo, he talked about Stu Hart being a sadistic man who put him in pain that he'll never forget. And he went out there and he stretched Moxley, man. These guys tore it the fuck down. I was bummed by Chris Jericho's entrance because I was expecting some type of rendition of Ebb and Flow from Pearl Jam, because that's the one that he's most known for with Lionheart, because he had that in WCW for a long time. So I was kind of expecting that, but he didn't have that. So I was like, whatever. But anyway, this match, again, blood, and this is becoming Jon Moxley's mantra, because Chris Jericho pretty much acted like he just pretty much ripped Jon Moxley's earring out of his ear, and Moxley's bleeding, and then Jericho starts bleeding, and the match starts off technical and whatever, and with these two just trying to stretch each other out, and you have the last dungeon of the last dungeon, the last student of the Heart Dungeon, up against a revived John Moxley because he's down with the Blackpool Combat Club. So this match was kind of like a technical brawl, if you want to look at it. If I had to say that, it was a technical brawl. It had his technical moves and it had his straight out shoot fighting style to it. I think in my opinion, Chris Jericho showed that if he wants to, he can pull out this style, especially with all the weight he lost. And Moxley tapped Chris Jericho out. I didn't expect that to happen. So props to Chris Jericho for the tap out. And, you even had him have help from Sammy Guevara, the Spanish God, the one who just married fine-ass Tay Conte and her fucking fabulous-looking ass. And, he had the help of Floyd and the Blackpool Combat Club comes out after the match and tries to make the save. And next thing you know, you hear CM Punk's music. You hear Cult of Personality. The fucking crowd loses his fucking mind. I didn't expect that either. I thought that was cool. I think Punk may be back a little bit earlier than what he was expected. They kind of mentioned that he wasn't medically cleared. So it seems like the build up for All Out is on a roll. And they announced the opening brackets for the for what do you call it? For the trios titles, and Will Ospreay and his crew are a part of that. So that's going to be fucking cool. And just in case you didn't know, Kenny Omega is coming back. I think that's what's happening because Hangman Adam Page was with the Dark Order. They had a segment with the Young Bucks that kind of went on for a little bit too long. And I was like, in this shit, it was getting kind of boring and kind of lame and, all these feelings and shit that these guys are expressing. I'm like, just get on with this shit. And he turned them down. And so that just leads you to believe that, Kenny Omega is going to come back to save his boys or whatever. And if that's the case, then that's cool. Dragon Lee is also going to be with Los Ingobernables La Facción. Not that he's signed to AEW, but he's just working with them. I hope that they actually sign him. Sign this fucking guy. What are you waiting for? Offer him a contract. If there's some other shit that's going on that he can't sign a contract, then I understand. But whatever the fuck you can do, get him in. He's the guy's that good. So, this was a good show, and the build up to AEW's All Out is looking positive so far. And basically, I just want to say, AEW, man, they've got to recognize that they've got a serious issue with Triple H being head of creative, man. They better fucking come on. Now listen, I'm not trying to be an alarmist. I'm not trying to say, AEW's in trouble now. I don't know why people are saying that as if as if Triple H is gonna move Monday Night Raw to Wednesdays or come up with a new show on Wednesday to combat that. That's not happening. Now I don't see people not watching AEW anymore because they think Raw now is gonna be the new shit or whatever. That will happen when it happens. But they have to continue. Listen, this is year 3. Like I said, I gave them 4 to 5 years to get this shit straight. And they're trimming the fat out of a lot of shit. Team Taz is no more. There's a few other things that's happening that I think is going in the right direction per se. The women's division still needs a lot of help. They still have a lot of people who they have to start treating better. And I think, it's funny to me because people talk about how Tony Khan brings in WWE guys, but then when the WWE guys aren't in the forefront, people get mad. And it's like, you want to push young talent, but if your former WWE stars aren't pushed the way you want, now you got something to complain about. Push young talent. They show you a video package of Mance Warner. They let you know how and why he is facing John Moxley. And you're like, who the fuck is Mance Warner? So, make up your fucking minds here. Now, yes, Mance Warner is 35, and I'm sure a lot of you will say, well, that's not young talent. 35 is young in this business, okay? All right, let's be real. And the flip side of that is the hypocrisy that kind of makes me laugh with some of the people in the IWC, YWC, TWC community, and which is, Tony Khan brought in Vince's rejects that Vince has fired, and it was, oh my God, let's laugh at that. Meanwhile, Triple H right now is doing the exact same thing. He's bringing back Vince's fired rejects. Listen, I don't really believe that. I just say that because it's just funny to point out how the hypocrisy is going down. And people will say, "Well, these are Triple H's guys." No, they're not. No, they're not. The people that Triple H brought in came from Impact, came from Evolve, came from New Japan. All right, they're not Triple H guys. There are a bunch of people that Triple H brought into NXT to help build the black and gold brand, and to his credit, he built that shit up to something that was far more entertaining than what you see now. But it was no different than what you see Tony Khan doing. And what Triple H is doing on Raw right now is no different. I don't give a flying fuck, what fucking, what YouTuber who thinks he's cool tries to say now. The bottom line is you got Triple H bringing guys back that Vince fired. If you had someone else bringing in Vince's fired rejects, you'd have something to say. But, you want to try to play the game that these are Triple H's guys as if he, discovered these guys and had anything to do with their success prior to the WWE. But it's whatever. I have no issue with what Triple H is doing. What I will say is this, though. The same way people are asking about Mance Warner and the fucking YWC, IWC, TWC community. If you do have any casual fans watching, I can tell you a story right now about a casual fan who watched, who texted me. They said, "Who the hell's that guy on Smackdown? Karrion Kross." They said to me, I got text of, "Who the hell is this skinny dude fighting Bobby Lashley, and why the fuck did he last so long?" I said, "Well, that's Tommaso Ciampa. He's a very popular guy amongst the NXT crowd. No one on Raw gives a fuck about him because the main people who attend these Raw shows do not watch NXT. Which is why Karrion Kross got no reaction when he came out on Friday. Which is why Tommaso Ciampa doesn't get a big reaction when he comes out. Which is why Io Shirai, or Io Sky in her match, and Io Sky and Dakota Kai in their matches weren't getting the reception that people like you and I would give them. Because the people who watch WWE and who go to those WWE shows, they're not watching NXT. You had Dexter Lumis come in. Nobody knew who the fuck they was. A loud who went over the crowd. Now, you will sit there and argue and say, well, look at his view count. Look at his view count. His view count has a million views on YouTube. So does Okada's. So what do you have to say about that? And what I'll say about Dexter Lumis having a million views on YouTube is the fact that people actually thought that motherfucker was a fan who was causing some shit. So that's why you have a lot of people who was like, what the fuck is this going on? And that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing by any means. So if I'm going to grade what Triple H is doing so far as a IWC, YWC, TWC, wrestling person, hardcore wrestling fan, I'm giving him the golf clap. Not bad. You still got ways to go. There's still this sense that Vince may be controlling things, maybe pulling the strings somewhat, backstage or from his evil mansion in Connecticut. I'm not ready to go there yet. I will tell you this. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Triple H will do what he can to make sure that the marks keep praising him. Triple H is doing what he is doing out of fucking ego. Okay? The guy loves the praise that he's getting from the wrestling marks because the guy at the end of the day is a wrestling guy. Triple H is not a corporate wrestling guy. He's just a wrestling guy. And with that comes his ego. And which is why, Billy Ray is saying that this may not have this big, he may not move this needle the way you think he may move it. Because, he's catering to AEW fans, to NXT fans. NXT fans, AEW fans, I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Those are pretty much the same people. People who watch AEW were people who were watching them, not now, but when the black and gold brand was around, those people who watch NXT, those people who watch AEW were watching NXT black and gold. Period. That's it. And Triple H wants to bring those people who watch AEW to WWE. So what he is going to do is sample AEW. More wrestling. Less fucking segments and comedy shit. That's what he's been doing on Raw. That's what he's been doing on SmackDown. You don't see no people running for the fucking 24/7 title. You don't see no stupid toilet humor segments on SmackDown. I don't see any pie eating contests in the future. Okay, on Raw or SmackDown. I don't see any of that happening. What I do see is Triple H pretty much taking what he sees from AEW and possibly New Japan and putting his own spin on it. Okay, okay, that's what he's going to do. That's what he is doing. As a matter of fact, there was a tweet that was sent out and it said that I don't know how true this is. I took it with a grain of salt with everybody else. Jeff Jarrett's father's brothers, nephews, cousins, former roommates sent out this told somebody something about how Triple H is taking elements of what he sees from New Japan and AEW and applying it to what he sees on Raw. Now people are saying, "Oh no, I don't believe that. I don't believe that." Well, you may not believe that that's what was said, but it's happening right in front of your eyes. And you're going to continue to see it. Okay? So my analysis and my grade on Triple H so far since he's taken over is okay so far. Raw and Smackdown still came off a little boring, but you got to give that time. You got to give it time. I understand that. I'm with that. I'm here. I'm not going to be biased towards Triple H. I don't like Triple H the wrestler. This ain't Triple H the wrestler. I mean, I don't like Triple H the person either. But Triple H the booker, I have no real issues with, other than the fact that I know that he books off of ego. He just likes the praise. And hey, I'll make that fair exchange. If you're gonna do the right thing for ego's sake, as long as you do the right thing, that's all that matters. Alright guys, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification button, follow me on Twitter at ATrackBrown, the number 8, TRC Brown, alright, and donate to the channel if you want, and I'll see you next time. Maybe next PW Hustle show, it will be all three of us. It will be, me, the Professor, and Lay Mask Man, and maybe the next show after that, we'll probably have some Hustleites on for you. I'm still trying to, get that together. Didn't have a show for you guys this weekend. It was a busy weekend for me, so I apologize for that. But, stay tuned for you guys who like the reactions. I got some more reactions coming up for you guys, all right? So I'll see y'all later. Peace.